Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
This is Kathy from Music and More Records.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
You know, with an intro like that, you would think we were important.
We're not. We're not.
I mean, it's every time, and we've said this before, you know, every time Reggie gets there, it's like, you know, we've made it. My name's Reggie, and I just love it. She's such a doll. Welcome.
She's very enthusiastic in her intro.
Yes. Welcome. This is the Weekly Pour podcast on a Wednesday versus Tuesday, if you're listening live. I'm TBT. That guy over there is Ace. That one. And yeah, here we are. This is episode 109. And we're on a Wednesday. I know, we do this every time. Like, it's 108. Oh, crap. Now it's 109. We're currently live on Facebook, live on YouTube. So if you're in either one of them, please jump in and say hi. Hit the like button if you're on Facebook. Hit the thumbs up if you're on the YouTubes. All that fun stuff. Jump in the chat. Say hi. Because that's how we know you're there, and that's how we know that you've got a question, if you have one. And I can see the questions when they pop up, and then I just completely surprise Ace with, you know, hey, look who said something. And it's usually something that Digital Viper has said, who is not with us yet.
Watch my hand. I got to clean this off.
What are you doing?
There's like a spot on there.
Did you just look like you had an earthquake?
No, I moved something on my screen.
Kind of weird. Looking at the chat room in Facebook right now, or YouTube, or whatever. Mama TBT's in there. Mrs. TBT, Mrs. Ace, and of course Kathy, who we definitely send our well wishes out to, because Kathy just had surgery to remove the 6th toe on her left foot. It was successfully removed, and they put it on the other foot. Weird, but it'll even out. But Kathy, we wish you a speedy recovery, even though you need a bigger intro. Well, I mean, that's what we got. So, I mean, you know, we can't do 30 minutes of an intro and then only 45 of a show. I guess we could, because I think some people would probably appreciate that.
Might like it better.
Yeah, that's sad. Shannon asked a very, very, very important question. Where's Nat? For those that don't know, Natalie is our moderator, who is either late, doesn't show up, or picks her child's baseball games over us, which I don't understand.
What people don't get is that we're not in charge of her.
Right.
Like, we don't know what she does.
Well, we kind of
except when she tells us. Well,
yeah I mean, literally tells us all the time. She's what's the word, in Florida. Let me tell you about today. God. No. She's far away from Helene and Gustav or whatever it was.
Gustav.
But where you and I are at, we have a freeze warning tonight.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Do you think she does? No. No, because she's in freaking Florida.
I thought that's why she went to Florida.
No. Today is her husband's birthday, and I'm sure it's going to be, well, we went to Florida for his birthday. Not buying it. You went to Florida because it's fall break up here where we're at, and she wanted to get a vacation. So it just happens to coincide with her husband's birthday. So, yeah, whatever. I thought it would be smarter to be here with us.
She's not fooling anyone.
Nope. She's definitely not gaining any bonus points. That's for sure. Not with me, anyway.
No.
I
emailed one of our former guests, your buddy Dick Wybro.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day, a friend of mine downloaded all of his Kane books that he talked about extensively on our show, and had told me how much she was enjoying the first book. And I said, you know what? I'll let him know. And
Absolutely.
I did. And he seems to be doing well.
Yeah, very much so. And just moved. I don't know if anybody's following him on social media, but he just moved. He's still in New Zealand. He's still in New Zealand. Okay. So he's still tomorrow. But which was weird because he moved tomorrow when it was our today.
Because he lives in the future.
Right. I don't know. It's the only time in the world I ever get to say Dick's in the future. Yeah. It's weird. How was your week? Because, it's Wednesday versus doing a show on Tuesday because you were flying.
Yeah, it was an exhausting week. Exhausting.
You went, once again, back up to the Great White North.
Right. And then I had to take care of Kathy because her sixth toe was removed and she was all off kilter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone had to be there to balance her out until
she was balanced.
Yeah, and that's exhausting.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and then I'm going to throw this out there because I'm sure Kathy will jump in and say something. They almost postponed her toe removal for like an entire month. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, whatever. And
no. That was the toe removal doctor who was hoping that if he set a date in the future, that things would get cleared up through, the insurance companies and all the red tape and all the crap you go through to get these things done.
Right.
So that was a hopeful date. Yeah, at that point, let's put it off 3, 4, 5 weeks, and hopefully we'll get through the red tape and people will see the light that this toe needs to be removed and moved over to the other foot. And
could we not have thought about that 4 or 5 weeks ago?
Well, they could have.
Oh,
we were ready for a toe.
Kathy just jumped in and said, "Just say back surgery." Well, you didn't have back surgery. You had your toe removed. I mean, don't play games.
It was more fun.
Yeah.
It was more fun to say toe.
Yeah. Left toe to the right toe. Sixth one.
So she had her spine removed.
Yes. Now she's spineless with a sixth toe.
But no, that was a hopeful date to clear up the insurance red tape. And then it got cleared up quicker than expected because people were yelling at other people on the phone, and phones were getting slammed and doors were getting slammed and screaming,
buttons getting pushed.
Remember the old days? Yeah, like you can slam a phone.
I'm glad we're not a political show because we would be sitting here talking about how corrupt insurance and all that stuff is, but thank goodness we're not.
And it worked.
Yeah.
She got her back surgery.
Which I'm glad. I'm glad she got her toe back.
It was needed. Right back where it belonged.
Yeah, got her toe back where it belongs.
She's doing well. She's moving around well.
Good.
So,
yeah.
All is good.
It's important. What a week of news. Like, the amount of stuff that we could have had probably yesterday, but we didn't, because we kind of wanted you to get back into the country from the Great White North of New York. It's been I'm not diving into it yet, but man, there's been a lot. And you and I, constantly during the week, we share things and say, oh, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? And it's not just like stuff just for a headline. It's like legit freaking news.
Well, yeah, this is not just an album coming out or something like that, especially, with the big store that we've got.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about getting shot in the dark.
I was hoping you would use that.
Okay, good. I did. I didn't know exactly when the appropriate time would be, but now seems like a better time than none. If you haven't heard, bizarre story that this just happened yesterday, actually.
Really is.
So bizarre. So yesterday, while walking his dog, okay, very metal, number one. You pointed that out, how very metal this is. This isn't, licking ants off the sidewalk or biting the head off of bats or anything like that. This is walking your dog.
All of that is safer.
Apparently. Although I still want to know what kind of dog it was. But anyway, imagine walking your dog in the morning before you go to work or whatever, school. And all of a sudden, you get shot multiple times.
Multiple times.
Not once. Multiple times. That is exactly what happened to a legendary guitarist, Jake E. Lee, the former Ozzy Osbourne, Badlands, and Red Dragon Cartel guitarist, struck by gunfire multiple times in what appears to be a random shooting. I would say it's probably random because who's going after Jake E. Lee?
Random, but to what end? He still had his dog, so they didn't take it.
Were they after the dog?
I don't know, but I mean, I don't think nothing ever said he was robbed.
No, there was a statement issued by his management that actually said, yes, I think I read the story first from either, I don't remember if it was Lou Brutus or where I heard it, because I sent it to you and I was like, holy crap. But his management released a statement, I guess, that really just said that he was shot multiple times early this morning in Las Vegas, random. He's fully conscious, doing well, and in intensive care at a Las Vegas hospital. He's also expected to make a full recovery. Thank goodness.
Right.
Las Vegas authorities are the ones that believe it was completely random. And then they, of course, said it occurred while he took his dog out for a walk in the early morning hours. It's under police investigation, so no further comments will be forthcoming. Lee and his family appreciate respecting their privacy at this time. I'm sorry. What?
Right. I mean, the information we have is minimal as far as that goes. It says the statement goes on to say, as the incident is under police investigation, no further comments will be forthcoming. Lee and his family appreciate respecting their privacy at this time. And we get a little bit of a health update. That he's doing fine in the hospital, like you said. But yeah, we don't know anything about why this would happen or how this happened, except that he was walking the dog.
And it's been 24 hours and there's not been anything additional. I didn't think there will be until, like a month from now when they say, oh, yeah, by the way, remember Jake E. Lee? And yeah.
The cool thing, kind of, in this world is that there's cameras everywhere.
Right.
So wherever Jake E. Lee is in Las Vegas, I'm sure it's in his neighborhood. Hopefully there's some street cams or something that can pick some things up. Some Ring doorbells.
Right.
Something.
Shannon hit the freaking nail on the head. How's the dog?
As far no one ever said, but as far as we know, the dog's fine.
Right. Is the dog traumatized?
Now, I mentioned to you that probably the dog was traumatized a
Right.
bit. I mean, come on.
How could you not be?
Well, and I mean, we don't know what happened.
Right.
Did the dog just run off? I'm sure. Did he hang onto the leash while he's getting shot? I don't know. I've learned a long time ago. My daughter is one of those that says, I need to know what breed the dog is. I need to know if the dog is okay. whenever she reads a dog story, you
Right.
know, and we have none of that.
No.
So we
I
can
don't
only
even know
assume
who
the
to
dog.
ask.
We can't ask Jakey Lee. They want privacy.
Right. Sorry. Inquiring minds want to know. One of the good things that comes out of tragedies like this is people come out and, you know, show their appreciation for you. Sort of.
Oh my Lord.
So this got you all this got you
This
all
is the
tore up.
strangest thing. This man got shot. So, okay. These are reactions from the rock community. These are his peers, Jakey Lee's peers. Now, Jakey Lee is a bit of a recluse in the sense that he doesn't put out a lot of recordings lately. We mentioned Red Dragon Cartel. That's his band that he's put out, I think, 2 records with.
I think 2.
And yeah, they're working on something right now. It's what he does when he wants to, you know, be a guitar player. He was known for Ozzy's band, 2 albums, right? Bark of the Moon, Shot in the Dark.
See, it's never not funny.
And then the Badlands stuff. So it's not like he's out in the public a lot. We don't hear from Jakey Lee that much, but
right,
the rock community knows who he is. So Ozzy has he issued a statement. He admitted in the statement that he had been estranged from his former guitar player for some time, but did reveal that he was still shocked by learning about the shooting. He said, "It's been 37 years since I've seen Jakey Lee, but that still doesn't take away from the shock of hearing what happened to him today. It's just another senseless act of gun violence. I send my thoughts to him and his beautiful daughter, Jade. I just hope he'll be okay." That's all right. That's a good statement, right?
Yeah, but the statement was made to TMZ.
Yeah, right. I found that interesting. I mean, I'm sure I don't know if he put anything out officially on the social media platforms.
I don't know.
I don't know. TMZ though, that's as good as it gets, right?
Sure.
So then, you know, this went on a little bit to where also a former Ozzy Osbourne guitar player, current Night Ranger guitar player, founding member of Night Ranger, Brad Gillis, he said, he commented to somebody that I just heard about Jakey Lee. Glad to hear he's doing well. My thoughts are with you, buddy.
What?
It's almost like he had back surgery.
Or toe surgery.
Brett Michaels was a little better. To our friend Jakey Lee, our thoughts and prayers, concerns go out to you, my friend. After hearing the news of you being shot in Las Vegas today, we're all pulling for you and hoping that you have a speedy and incredible recovery. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then another guitar contemporary, though, Neil Sean of Journey.
This one kills me.
Neil Sean of Journey says, "Crazy world. Take care, Jake." Crazy world.
Take care, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then pro wrestler Frankie Kazarian, who AEW wrestler,
correct?
Right. He said, "Get well soon, Jakey Lee. Senseless bullshit violence like this is sickening." I can live with that one, but the whole take care, Jake.
Yeah, crazy world.
See you down the road.
Take care.
And hopefully there are other ones out there that are a little more heartfelt.
Oh, I'm sure there are. But
yeah.
On.
I mean, I know he's not putting out, you know, all kinds of records and touring constantly and all that, but you kind of knew the guy, or you know him. He's not dead.
Right. Take care, Jake. Sorry to hear it, buddy. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I mean, we're sitting here. I mean, I'm making light of it, but I would just think there'd be a little bit more compassion. Like you said, homeboy got shot.
Right. Something really, really heartfelt, you know. Yeah. I mean, are these guys coming to the hospitals to see him? Or?
Well, apparently Ozzy's not. It's been 30 some years. Why not add another 5?
Right. And did he even make it? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was this weekend, right? The induction ceremony. I never saw if he made it or not. From London. Remember, he was in London.
Was it?
So,
I've been so bad worrying about other things going on in the world, and I've not even been paying attention to the Hall of Fame.
Well, like you said, there was a lot of stuff to get through that we were looking at. That kind of slipped under the radar. But I wonder if he even made the trip, because his health is just not good. I mean,
isn't it Saturday?
Is
it this Saturday? I don't know. Yeah, it is, because an article just came out 13 hours ago that it could be the biggest induction ever. So we've not missed it. We are good, and we have something to talk about for next week.
Okay, I wondered, because I didn't see a lot of shit about it either, and except I heard some things last week while driving around, the Great White North about it, but they were like just such.
Yeah, so that'll be good. At least we didn't miss it.
It remains to be seen if Ozzy will make it then to the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, that's a strange world. Get better, buddy.
Well, he could go visit Jake. He could go from Cleveland to Vegas and visit him at the hospital, but I wouldn't want that, because I think they'd keep him.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not good for Ozzy. I want that.
No.
But no, this is crazy news. I mean, how many rock stars do you know that have gotten shot on the street? I know one that got shot on stage.
Right.
Tragically passed. That's Dimebag.
Yeah.
So this is not something you see every day.
No. And of course, we're making fun of, the responses, and you're out walking your dog, and it's not very rock starish, but I mean, it sucks no matter what. And we're just making light of it, but how random is that? I mean, the hundreds, the thousands of musicians out there, and you happen to be the one that gets shot multiple times randomly.
Right.
How random? That's the question I have. How random is multiple times?
Right. I mean, they didn't say that it was in a crossfire. They didn't say anything like that. It almost sounds like he's walking by himself with his dog, and someone just comes from behind a tree and shoots him.
They were really only aiming at him once, but it got stuck on auto, and it just fired randomly.
Finger spam.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, as long as Jake, I mean, I hope he does well. We send our best wishes to Jakey Lee. Speedy recovery. I mean, we've spent a few minutes talking about this, and longer than Neil Sean took to write his response.
Yeah, and posted on his social media. But yeah, I agree. We're hopefully I hope everything is done. He's good, gets to walk this off, and I bet you he does not go to the same way walking his dog again.
Probably not.
I wouldn't. Ozzy, good grief. Speaking of Ozzy, I'm gonna go back to him in a minute, but interesting stuff coming out of the Van Halen camp this week as well, with Alex kind of, I guess, breaking the ice, or spilling the beans, if you will. I think I put that in our description for the show. It kind of spilling the beans on what was supposed to be an Eddie Van Halen tribute tour that people have talked about for a while.
A while now.
Yeah.
What I like about this, what we're seeing from Alex, is that we're getting to see a different side of him. He never talks to the media. We never hear Alex Van Halen say anything. But his book is coming out. His book about him and Eddie's relationship. It's
Yep.
called Brothers, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing a round of interviews to promote that. But I like the fact that we're seeing some things from him, and I'll let you talk about it, but he's confirming something that we all suspected about the tribute that didn't happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that what we thought is actually what happened. This was in a recent conversation that Alex had with Rolling Stone. They're talking about this tribute tour for Eddie, and Alex just flat out puts the blame of it not happening on David Lee Roth. Rumors of this tour circulated. I think it was like April 2022, when Jason Newsted, who used to be with Metallica, said that he received an invitation to go hang out and jam with Alex Van Halen and Joe Satriani, because Satriani would have been the one to handle the guitar duties, much like he has with Sammy Hagar on the Best of All Worlds tour. Michael Anthony was supposedly considered, for the gig as well. So you really have everybody except for Eddie, and you're not going to have the Red Rocker. I had to look at your shirt there for a second. You're not going to have Sammy either, but that's because, let's bring Dave in. Okay. So Alex claims that when he suggested an explicit recognition of his brother, so basically standing up on stage, if you will, and being like, this is about Eddie. We want to thank him. Let's show a video collage, just all this stuff.
Right.
He says that David Lee Roth lost his cool. What? So this is the quote from Alex. He says that during the thing that broke the camel's back, and I can be honest about this now, this is, again, what he's telling Rolling Stone. He said, Dave, at some point, we have to be very overt. Not a bowing, but an acknowledgement of Ed in the gig. If you look at how Queen does it, they show old footage. And the moment I said, this is Alex again, the moment he said that we've got to acknowledge Ed, this is his words, Dave effing popped a fuge. He came out, the vitriol that came out was unbelievable. Alex, unsurprisingly, didn't take kindly to Roth's refusal to acknowledge his brother on stage. I'm from the street, he said. You talk to me like that, mother effer, again, I'm going to beat your effing brains out. You got it? And I mean that. And that's how it ended. The drummer said he still keeps in touch with Roth following the blow up, but it left him bewildered. It's just like, I don't know him anymore. I have nothing but the utmost respect for his work ethic and all that, but he's got to work as a community. It's not just him alone. Ultimately, Alex wouldn't have been able to take part in the tribute tour anyway because he suffered a spinal injury during a trip in a shooting range back in 2022 that made it difficult for him to move, let alone play the drums. That happened when he was out at the range, like I said, and he was shooting and a rifle kicked him in the ass. Broke his back instantly, and he spent a year on the floor just staring at the ceiling and became best friends with the ceiling. So in retrospect for what you and I have discussed on this show before, always saying, man, we wonder why it didn't happen. Was Dave to blame? Who was to blame on this? Record company, somebody. Well, we were right. Yeah. And it sucks to have this come down to be somebody's ego that got in the way from having this tour.
Right. Wolfgang had alluded to this. He wasn't naming names, but he alluded.
Right.
And Wolfgang's close to Alex. They're very tight. That's his uncle. So it leaves one guy that you can speculate about. You don't have to name him, but he's been named. He's been called out for this. And it's inexplicable. I don't know why you would not want to do this.
Me neither.
I know Dave's got an ego. We know that.
Sure.
But when do you put that ego aside, for this type of tribute?
How do you not put your ego aside to realize that without Eddie Van Halen, you don't have the success or notoriety that you currently have or had, that you're continuing to lose because of your stupid antics?
Right. This is a guy that, when they formed that band, they didn't really want him in the band in the first place. Until they finally found a way to make it work. And then they put that, that great run of Van Halen records out with David Lee Roth. So why he wouldn't respect that and want to pay homage to a guy that he was with? They just did a tour 2015.
How could you say this to this dude's brother?
Right.
I mean, that takes cojones.
I cannot. I wish I could remember the same quote, but I think I've told you this before. Maybe we even talked about it on the show. But Roth has said things like that before, like why do we talk so much about Eddie when I'm here, basically?
Yeah.
Why aren't we talking more about what I'm doing?
Yeah, I don't. It sucks that we were right. I don't. I applaud Sammy Hagar for what we saw this year with the Best of All Worlds. Sure, we got some stuff from Chickenfoot. We got stuff from Hagar by himself. Joe Satriani played one of his solos from his album. But for the most part, this was a Van Halen tribute.
Yeah, right. This is what the best you're going to get as far as Eddie Van Halen tribute was that tour with Sammy Hagar, and they played two classic songs. I say classic, but I mean the Roth era.
Sure.
Played Panama. Ain't Talking About Love. Jump was in there, but not at our show because of the rain.
Yeah, because we needed that reminder.
Right. So that's three classic ones, from the Roth era that they play homage to, pay homage. So who's putting their ego aside to pay tribute to that era that he had nothing to do with?
Yeah. And why isn't there some mention of some mention in this Rolling Stone interview with Alex about Hagar and this tour? I mean, that's essentially, that's essentially what you would have had. Joe Satriani, Michael Anthony.
Yeah, I don't know if we have the complete interview or not.
Sure.
So I don't know. But I would think that Alex would be okay with it. He'd have to be.
Has to be.
I think a lot of bridges have been mended, or at least attempted. Because I know Alex, I know Sammy has said in the past that he is.
Yeah, he has said whatever it was you were going to say because you just decided to up and leave. And there you are again. You've magically reappeared. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the perils of you being on a phone or whatever and you lose it.
Well, I got a phone call from a child of mine that knows I'm doing a podcast, and
well, I mean, okay, to their credit, it's not Tuesday.
Right, but I told her.
Okay, never mind. I was trying to help, but forget it. Staying on this whole thing about Van Halen and all this, some other news has came out, which I find very, very interesting, I guess is the best word for it. They've had a number of singers over the years, and some other names are starting to pop up of who were maybe considered.
Right. But here's the funny thing before you go any further.
Okay.
And this is interesting, of course. But, oh my God, the people have been considered to be the singer for Van Halen at one time or another. It's crazy.
When I read this, I was like, it's got to be a joke. This has got to be another thing that was sent to TMZ. I didn't get it. But in approximately 2001, singerless Van Halen apparently eyed, and I hope everybody's sitting down, or if you're in your car listening on your way to work or on your way home, I hope you're at a stoplight. They considered Ozzy Osbourne, as both Alex and Eddie met with Ozzy and Sharon to discuss a potential album with Ozzy as lead singer. What?
I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I'm saying I would have to hear it.
Yeah, and the part about, I don't know if this is the worst or the best part about this. This isn't hearsay. This is coming straight from Alex. When you get a dog, you don't expect to be a cat. And that's the quote that he told Rolling Stone. When you get an Ozzy, you get Ozzy. Play the music, he'll sing, and it's going to be great. I'm with you, though. I'd have to hear it.
Okay, so.
Go ahead, jump.
Let's say they do it. Let's say they record a record. Are they talking about recording or touring?
Yes.
Okay, let's say they record a record. Is it just going to sound like an Ozzy record with Eddie playing guitar? Or is it going to sound like something that Van Halen might do and Ozzy just happens to be the singer?
And Ozzy plays all of the other songs that have already made them classic Van Halen songs. Can you imagine Ozzy as playing Jump? Go ahead, jump!
No,
hey!
No, I can't. I can't imagine anything they do. I can't imagine.
Yeah,
and they would pick some Ozzy songs or Sabbath.
And I would totally love to hear Eddie play that stuff. But that's the other end of the spectrum. He would play some Jakey Lee stuff, man. Eddie would tear it up. I'm not so sure that it would be the other way around. I can't. No.
If you show up to this concert and, okay, Ozzy's there, and you show up, and then they play Iron Man in the middle of the set, how's it going to fit with Ain't Talking About Love, Janie's Crying?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He'd change it to Sharon's Crying. Sharon's Crying!
I don't know. Running with the Devil might work.
Yeah.
That might work.
Okay, we found one that would work.
Okay.
The reason this didn't happen is because Ozzy ended up starting.
No?
He didn't say no, but he went and started his daggone reality show. So therefore, the Van Halen plans went unrealized. This isn't just something that Alex made up either, because Ozzy confirmed it in another interview with Rolling Stone, saying it was something that, if it had come to fruition, would have been phenomenal. Eddie and Alex were great friends of mine for a very long time, and it's a regret of mine that we never got it together. The Osbournes, the TV show, got in the way of creating new music at that time, unfortunately. But we don't stop there.
No.
There's more.
We have another one.
There was another option, as Alex revealed that Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, Chris Cornell,
right,
seemed like a solid option at one point. Although he wasn't able to recall exactly when, he remembered jamming with Cornell and thinking the Soundgarden frontman could be a good fit for Van Halen. Chris was in a very fragile part of his life, so to speak. I got behind the drums and he started playing bass. We played for 45 minutes. This MFer got so into it, he started bleeding. I said, "This is the man you want." And then he died. This is the interview with Alex. Now, I'd be okay with Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell can sing, and we know
Yeah.
that. I don't think he would have any problem fitting into whatever Eddie and Alex had in mind at all.
Would you have to change the name to Vanguarden?
That sounds cool. I like
It
that.
actually kind of does. So, yeah, I mean, how close did that end up becoming reality? What if Chris Cornell hadn't died? Would he have, I'm going to say this. We had Gary Cherone. You can't tell me that people wouldn't have been okay with Chris Cornell.
No, I think it would have been fine.
Truthfully, I think it would have been phenomenal. I would have rather have had that than Ozzy.
I agree. And I think, too, that the star power that Cornell would bring would spark an interest in what they're doing. That it would be, the tour would sell out, obviously. And the curiosity about the new record they would put out or would have put out would fuel pre-sales and sales. That would have been something to hear.
Yeah.
It really would.
Of course, everybody knows in the end, Hagar it rejoined the band for a few years until David Lee Roth came back into the picture. And Alex sees the 74 to 85 lineup as Van Halen's best. It's irreplaceable. The heart and soul and the creativity and the magic was Dave, Ed, Mike, and me. Again, according to Alex. Chris Cornell. I mean, that is just something to think about. And in today's world of AI, at some point we will probably get a Chris Cornell-led Van Halen. Just the energy, though. I that's two different genres.
Yes,
your Van Halen and your Temple of the Dog, your Soundgarden. I think it could have worked.
I think it could have worked. I think it would have been spectacular sounding.
Yeah.
I really do. And we don't know. We don't know how close this would have came. We've heard so many names considered for when Roth left before Sammy. And now we're hearing about this in-between period where, let's just find somebody and let's get Ozzy and let's throw it's like you're throwing things up against the wall to see what sticks when you say Ozzy.
Right.
Now, when you say Chris Cornell, to me, you're thinking outside the box a little bit. And you're saying, man.
You're thinking outside the garden.
True.
Yeah.
Very, very much in the fact that Sammy was a superior singer. Whatever you say about Gary Cherone, he could sing. He's a good singer. And then, of course, Cornell. Oh my gosh, crazy!
Exactly. Now we've got this whole mention of Van Halen, and I'm going to switch gears. No pun intended. Just a little bit, and talk a little bit more about Sammy Hagar. Because he was in the news just 2 days ago because Homeboy made him some money. All for selling.
He posted he posted the day before this happened on social media on his Instagram a picture with him and his wife next to this beautiful Ferrari and saying that he hated to part with it, but it goes up for auction the next day.
Yeah.
And
It was a 2015 Ferrari LaFerrari that went to auction at the Barrett Jackson auction in Scottsdale, Arizona this past weekend. I'm gonna read a few other things here before I say anything about the price. The singer flew in personally to hand the keys over to the high bidder, who wishes to remain anonymous. I'm going to go with Jay Leno. Anyway, the sale set a record. Yeah, it set a record for the highest price ever paid for a 2015 Ferrari LaFerrari. The previous high was set in August of 2022, and it was beat this time by $340,000. So let's just put that in perspective. We beat the previous selling price by $340,000. So you know that this Ferrari went for more than $340,000. The CEO of Barrett Jackson was honored and excited to have sold Sammy Hagar's stunning LaFerrari. They have no doubt they did find it a good home, and Sammy and the new owner connected after the sale, and he said it felt right. I'm still going to go with it being Jay Leno. Hagar, of course, everybody knows he loves cars, and if you watch some videos on YouTube or whatever, you're going to see like his garage, and he's got all of these cars, some of the original one from I Can't Drive 55. He's just got some pretty mean freaking sets of wheels. So this Ferrari, if you had the pocket change, sold at auction for $4.675 million. 4.675.
That's
insane.
I don't know what those go for new, and that's a limited edition sports car, right? A special line there that they make. I bet there's only a handful of those made a year anyway. They make them by hand. So I'm just flabbergasted at the amount of money that was this car.
There was nothing. I don't want to say there's nothing special about the car. It's very special, but there wasn't wasn't in the videos, or it didn't have Tawny Katane dancing pantyless on the hood. Nothing like that. Nope. What we had was Sammy Hagar picking the paint. It was a cream color. It's cream and black, and he called it his cappuccino. He originally was going to do carbon fiber, but he left it the color that it was, the cream. And, I mean, it's a good-looking car.
It's beautiful.
$4.675 million for a pretty car?
Well, I wondered.
Yeah.
If you've got the money, you would spend it.
Oh, totally. And to have a car owned by Sammy Hagar?
Right.
I would totally do it.
Right. And I wondered why he was getting rid of such an iconic car, a beautiful car like that. And in the article here from Forbes, he answers that question. He just turned 77 and is ever conscious of time and says, now it's just too much car for me. I feel so horrible just having it in the garage. It's not good for the car. So obviously he's not going to get it out and hit the highway at 110 in that car. And he's got several of them.
Or 55.
Well, he never hits 55.
Yeah. Can't drive it.
He can't.
Yeah.
Genetics.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. It's just sitting there. You're not driving it. It's meant to be driven kind of fast.
Yeah.
Kind of hard. Yeah. And, I mean, I understand. But if it's Jay Leno, what is Jay going to do?
Well, he's going to take it out there and just balls to the wall. Hammer down. No, I've seen him.
No. You know who else it could have been? That's a car aficionado. John Cena.
Oh. Yeah,
John,
but you would have never seen him.
Well, no, you don't anyway. Plus, he'd be going too fast.
That's not a bad thing, though. Or one of the guys from the Gas Monkey Garage. Grease Monkey? Gas Monkey?
Grease Monkey.
Yeah, whatever. Speaking of automobiles and some hot ones and some good automobiles, Motley Crue recently made the news again. Surprise, surprise. Everybody knows that they had their Hollywood takeover going on. And that started, I believe, Monday night last week. And they made quite the entrance. And a lot of people have jumped on this bandwagon and said, oh, how ironic that they show up like this. Because that's what they are. I don't know. Man, we didn't say it. I'm just repeating what we've heard. The Rockers shared a video of highlights from their one night at the Troubadour on the Sunset Strip, which shows them getting dumped out of the back of a big green garbage truck, much to the delight of their gathered fans. Why?
Why?
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. Like, I can't even think of anything where I'd say, heck yeah, I'm Motley Crue. I'm going to get dumped out of a garbage truck. Yeah, I get it. We're going back to the 80s. Yeah, because, these streets were full of garbage and, we were just, everybody thought we had garbage music. And whoa. What? There's already enough crap about Vince Neil singing, about trashing freaking Mick Mars, no pun intended, about John 5, and you're going to show up and get dumped out of the back of a garbage truck? Call Sammy Hagar. He can let you arrive in style.
In your face is what they said to all that. We'll just come out in a garbage truck.
Sure. Yeah, no, whoever decided that, and it was probably Tommy and Nikki. Hey, this would be cool. Sure, it was cool. Very rock and roll-ish.
Maybe that was the point.
Was it,
it's
though?
rock and roll. I don't know.
I think getting out of a freaking limo with a hot tub in it full of bikini-clad women is more rock and roll than getting dumped out of the back of a green garbage truck.
I will say right now.
Okay.
I'll take back what I said earlier about Jakey Lee, because getting shot in the street 3 times while walking your dog is much more rock and roll than getting dumped out of a garbage truck in front of the Troubadour.
Yeah. There's been many comments about, oh, look, the Troubadour finally took out the trash, but it came back.
Yeah, you're leaving yourself out there for the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can say what you were trying to do, or there can be articles stating what the intent was, but
yeah.
Okay, what are people really saying, though?
I don't know.
They're
saying that. That's what they're saying. I mean, some of them love the show. Troubadour show was great. They did this, they did that. But they still got dumped out by a garbage truck. And it was out in front of the fans, which they loved, of course, because the fans got to see it. They're like, heck yeah, woo, so rock and roll. I hope it was clean.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah. I'm sure it was.
Halloween's not so far away, and one of the bands that I have talked about before and encouraged a lot of people to listen to, even though they're not 80s rock, has been Ice Nine Kills. Especially if you are, really into the metal scene, you're into horror, and by horror I mean horror films, not
horror,
not whore, horror. Ice Nine Kills just recently released the new official track for Terrifier 3, featuring our good friend Art the Clown. The name of the song, the name of the track is A Work of Art. See what they did there? It was work of art, because art's the anyway.
Wow.
Oh, see? One of the holy moly, there's an extended version of the A Work of Art video that is currently 15 minutes long, currently making its rounds on the world of YouTubes and everywhere else. Disclaimer: if you are not a fan of gore and debauchery and blood, you name it, do not watch this video. However, if you are, you've got to check it out. This is probably one of the most insane videos I've ever watched. It is a video for the song. It is absolutely, like, if it was, this would not be played on MTV. I'll put it that way. You're All That I Need from Motley Crue was a video that Motley Crue made that was banned from MTV. This one would have been banned from MTV.
song by Motley Crue I really like. That's
an
underrated gem.
Absolutely. I highly encourage you to go watch this. As a matter of fact, I might go ahead and put up the link on our social media. If you don't like it, stop watching it. You've been warned. This is your warning. But the song itself, for what it's going to, and it's for Terrifier 3 with Art the Clown. If you don't know who Art the Clown is, Google him, learn you something. Right. The song is great.
I liked it. I liked the song quite a bit. I wasn't sure what I was getting into, but yeah,
sure.
The song was great. I wonder how much that video cost with all the effects. Maybe not a lot. These movies, Terrifier 1, 2, and 3, historically are lower budget, but they make a lot of money.
Well, the film's already claimed the top spot at the box office, knocking off Joker.
Right, which I heard was not so good anyway.
Yeah, but, right. And the song.
What I was going to say, I like the fact that we're doing a movie tie-in and having a bit of a soundtrack, which you don't get a lot anymore. I love that stuff.
Yeah. The song's already been streamed 645,000 times as of the article that was done this morning. So we'll say in the last 12 hours, it's probably gotten even more. And the video has received 453,000 views on YouTube within 24 hours. One day, 453,000 views. It's insane. It really is. And you're going to watch it and be like, okay, that was gross. That was gory. I don't ever want to see it again. Take that out of it. Take that aspect out of it. Think of the art, not the clown. Think of the art that went into making this video because it's intense. A work of art reflects everything we love about horror and music, and to have it resonate so deeply with our fans and the Terrifier fan base has been unreal. This was according to the lead singer of Ice Nine Kills. And he goes on to say, Psychos, we're just getting started. I can't imagine where else this can go. The song on Spotify has surpassed 15 million streams. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
And this band is getting a lot of opportunities. They had the tour with Metallica opening spots.
Right.
I can't remember if they're still going to pick that up in the spring, but they could be. Prior to that, we had mentioned them for some reason. Maybe it was because of that Ice Nine Kills being on that tour. Now the movie success has brought this song a lot of attention for them. Their name's going to get out there. Definitely.
Yeah, this is the band that we've said time and time before. It's not just this with Terrifier. Their albums have been based on horror movies, and they're good. And Halloween's coming up. You need to watch it. It's good. And I think next week is the 22nd. Tuesday is the 22nd. The week after that would be the 29th. So I think over the next couple weeks, we need to dive into some of the best horror movie soundtracks. Because there are some that have been very, very metal. We've got Dokken with Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't want to go into them too much because then we'll give it away. But I think we'll dive into that in the next couple of weeks and just kind of reminisce about the days when Halloween was badass and so was the music. And I don't really have a joke to end this week. So if you've got one, you can.
Oh, well, I was going to make my presidential endorsement.
Oh, that's